Hello traders and welcome to the market opening preview on a Friday, September 18th, 2015. Traders, great to be with you, coming to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. Cloudy skies but no rain. It looks like the sun might come out today. We've been on the tail end of a storm from China and we've had 4 days of rain and thunderstorms. Nice to see a little bit of light out there. Hopefully we'll have a nice Friday afternoon and then into a wonderful, beautiful weekend. Traders, it's really great to be with you. We had the FOMC, and I'll get into that saga in just a moment. Please remember this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Please come visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Great website to check out, great economic calendar, a lot of opportunities, training, and you can even open up a live account or a demo account. It's right there. Everything's there for you. Alright, for those of you who don't know me, let me quickly introduce myself to you. Don't want to bore you on a Friday. So, my name is William Gilday, and I'm your moderator for the Market Opening Preview Series every single day before the London Open. I will tell you, traders, that I do record this in the Asia session. Traders, I started trading in 2006. In 2008, I retired from a wonderful 27-year career as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. Traders, 9 days later, I came to Thailand for a 3-month holiday. Well, it's 8 years later, and I am still in Asia, in Thailand. Absolutely loving it. Time zone is great. It's just like going to work on a regular day. I can trade all 3 sessions and still get a good night's rest. However, New York session, I'm only in for about 3 hours. That brings me up to 11 p.m. And traders, no, I do not sit in front of my charts for 15 hours. Trust me, I do get breaks, 2 hours here, hour and a half there, whatever I can get. Traders, I'm always looking for probabilities and opportunities to be successful in my trades, and the way we do that is we look at fundamentals and we look at technicals. I'm a technical trader, but you have to be aware of fundamentals, and over time you'll start to understand them, and it's just so important. It's just part of trading today. If you would have asked me that 4 years ago, I would have laughed at you and said, I'm a technical trader, I don't care about the news. Well, today you have to know what the news is there, because one person gets in front of a microphone and your trade can go 100 pips in the opposite direction. So that's basically where I trade. I'm really into it. I love what I do. I spend a lot of time. If I'm not on my charts, I'm on my iPhone. I'm always looking, checking out what's going on, and throwing the dart. You know, if you don't pull the trigger, you can't win, right? So you have to do your homework and then pull the trigger and win, right? You're going to take some losses, and that's okay. We all take losses. All right, let's look at the risk disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex market. Traders, most importantly, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Oh, sorry, traders. News and commentary. Well, let's take a look at the indices and see what happened here. New York had some mixed closings here. The US 30 closed negative 0.39%. The S&P 500 closed negative 0.26%. The NASDAQ barely in the green at 0.10%. The small cap 2000 closed just in the green at 0.05%. Let's head on over to the Eurozone. And the DAX closed barely in the green at 0.02%. The FTSE 100 closed in the red at 0.68%. The CAC 40 out of Paris cleared, ended its day at 0.20% in the green. And the Eurostoxx 50 out of Frankfurt also in the green at 0.12%. Let's turn it over to my side of the world. Remember, these current countries are currently trading as Asia is open, my friends. The Nikkei 225 is down 1.50%. The S&P ASX 200 out of Australia is up 0.32%. The Shanghai is up 0.56%. The Hang Seng is negative 0.04%. And the Kospi out of Seoul is up 0.21%. Let's take a look at our economic calendar today and see what's going on. After the FOMC, I do not expect a lot of things to be going on today. In fact, what do we got? In the U.S. session, we have the CAD's core CPI month on month today, and that looks like that is it on a Friday. We only have the CAD with core CPI coming out. All right, let me get on my soapbox here just for a second, as FOMC came out. They did nothing. You know, this is just, pardon me, folks, but this is just ridiculous. I mean, you know, what is 0.25 basis points going to do to the economy? It's really sad that the FOMC is more interested on what other countries are doing than what we're doing. You know, it's just amazing. Like, take care of your country, you know, take care of the United States. We needed to raise these interest rates. I mean, it needed to be done. And, you know, they're so worried. And, you know, if you're letting China rule the way you run the U.S., you're pretty sad. I've lost a lot of respect for at the FOMC and Janet Yellen. I call her Auntie Yellen. I've lost a lot of respect for her. I think this was a bad move. I think they're going to regret it down the line. Now they're talking about October, which means, you know, we're going to hear this on, you know, all your news sites, all the TV, financial channels. You know, now we got to put up with this all over again. Right? They're going to get all these pundits on there telling you what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. I hope everybody just shuts up and let them do what they're going to do, because it really doesn't make a difference. And that's my focus on that. I guess you can tell I wanted them to raise rates. I don't care if they raised it 0.10 basis points. Just raise rates and start the process. It's just absolutely ridiculous. They're not going to get better numbers than they have. And, you know, it's just crazy that they're allowing global, you know, situations dictate what we're doing in the United States. Like we're being held hostage by what's going on in the globe. Well, why don't you take care of your house? Do your own house cleaning and take care of your house. And they should have raised interest rates. I think they made a mistake, and I think they're going to regret it. And I think down the road, they're going to admit they made a mistake. Well, we'll see. That's what's going on. It's a Friday, so always remember to be careful when you trade today. Remember there's profit taking and all that stuff. A lot of movement, you know, with this FOMC. But really, you know, a lot of these pairs have come back to their normal ways. So we'll see what's going to happen here. Let's start off with the euro dollar. Remember, these are 30-minute charts, meaning each candlestick on the chart is 30 minutes in duration. You know, this euro dollar remains bullish, and we want this to pull back to the 61.8 Fibonacci at 1.1391, and we'll take it up. We'll take it up to support at 1.1426, and that is our trade for the day. The 618 is a nice support area. We also have the daily pivot point there, so this is a nice trade. Hopefully this will pull back by the time we get to the London Open, and if it does beforehand, I would enter the trade. All right, let's take a look at the pound dollar. Pound dollar really came down on this data, which is pretty surprising to me. But it went up, and then it's come back down in the Asia session. So, you know, here we are. It's closed above the 200. It's closed above the daily pivot point. So I'm looking for, you know, for a bullish candlestick. I mean, there's nothing to wait for at 55.77, 1.5577. I'm looking for an entry to take this long, take back up to resistance. The pound is strong, and we could take profit at 1.5623, and, you know, that's a nice 50-pip trade if we can get this to work. So I'll be watching the pound very closely today. And, you know, where's your stop going to go, folks? Right below the 38.2 fib. You know, you're only going to risk 15 pips or something. 20 pips at the most, you know, but I'm more likely at 15 or 12 pips. Risk that. The trade's either going to work or it's not going to work. You don't need to go out there and risk a lot to see if this trade is going to work. And there's a lot going on because people waking up today in Asia and probably haven't even responded yet to this FOMC. And London closed. But London was open when this announcement was made, so it's going to be interesting to see how the London Open happens. Let's take a look at the Aussie. The Aussie had the big move and then corrected itself pretty quick, right, back to the downside. So now we're back down to 0.7181, where I'd like to see this break below this trend line. This is a valid trend line. This is a three-touch trend line, and I want to see this clear this trend line. And we'll take it down to, you can see the 200 EMA is there, and then our support zone is there at 0.7139. And we'll just take this back down to the other side. So this is a nice trade if it works. We just need to break this trend line. I'm a little concerned about this trend line, and then you're going to get stuck in this wedge, because what's going to happen is this daily pivot has been rejected once already. And if it goes back up to it and gets rejected again, you know, it's just going to continue on and on and on. It might end up going sideways till London Open. However, if this breaks below this trend line and gives me a bearish candlestick formation with a retest, I'll take this at any time. I'm not necessarily having to wait to get into this trade. Here's our Euro Aussie. You know, the good old Euro Aussie. It's all over the place. But, you know, it is where we want to take this long, and it's at 1.5870. I'd like to see this come back down to the daily pivot. You know, it's tried to break this 1, 2, 3 times. It's spiked through this daily pivot and hasn't been able to take it down. So I stay with my bias that this is going to continue to the upside, and we just need to get into it. And that's the hard part, is finding how we're going to get into this. You can basically, if you get a high or low, you know, just enter the trade and just stick your stop right under that yellow EA line, which is our, you know, support line, and just stick your stop right under that. And, you know, like I said, don't risk a lot of pips. The trade's either going to work or it's not going to work. And, you know, we're bullish in this. So it's done the pullback from the big move up, and now it's pulled back, and now we're ready to go. So let's see what happens. Okay, here's the Euro Yen. You know, I'm bearish in the Euro Yen. I've been bearish in it for quite a while. Did do a couple of counter trend trade plans, but we're back to being bearish again. We're below the daily pivot, and I'd like to see this pull back to the daily pivot again. You know, I'd like to see this pull back, and then let's get in at like 136.74, and we'll get out at 136.13 again. Another, you know, 55 pip trade, and I think we can do it. We're going to get a bounce at that S1 pivot. You can see that on the chart. Look left of the chart. You'll see you have some price action movement there, but I think we can get through it without an issue, and then take it to support. And I think it's a pretty good trade if we can get it. All right, let's take a look at the New Zealand dollar. Good old New Zealand. You know, data came out, skied up, right, against the dollar, and here we are, back in the mess. Again, another ugly chart for the poor New Zealand. I mean, I'm not really jumping to trade this, I got to be honest with you. If this pulls back to the daily pivot, you can take this to the short side at 0.6371, you know, even 63.65, somewhere in there, and then take this to the downside. And I'm going to take it all the way to support. And I know we're going to have trouble with that 200 EMA, and you can see there's a lot of price action that's been respected at that point. And we want to take this down to 0.6312. Again, another 50 pip trade, but this one looks sloppy. I'm not as eager as I was yesterday in taking this trade, so I'm not in a hurry to get in this. I'm going to, you know, be very cautious of getting into this trade. It's going to have to prove itself to me. This looks like this is going to be a London Open trade. I don't think I would enter this before the London Open. Well, that wraps up our 6 currency pairs on a Friday. Believe it or not, the week went pretty quick this week. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I want to thank you for joining me today. Remember, today is Friday. We will have the Friday wrap-up sometime after the New York close. And that's where we go over daily charts and price action. That's all we look at. And we look between 16 and 20 charts every week. So it's pretty interesting, and it's a lot of fun. So, also, if you would, come visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, if you don't catch the Friday wrap-up, have a great weekend. Enjoy your time with friends, loved ones, family, and even the guy driving the pickup truck going down the road. Give him a wave, say hello. Take care, traders. Until next time, see you now. Bye-bye.